Hello, my model building friends. It's Linda's husband, Brian. You know, the guy that started this channel. That she's slowly usurping one update at a time. I'd like to say thank you to everybody for all of your great comments and such on her posts. It means a lot to her to be so well received and accepted into the group. So that's really awesome, guys. I appreciate that greatly. We're going to do a couple of quick updates here. First off, we're going to do our JDM group build that Mr. Sniper 42 was putting on, and it's going to be over with here pretty soon. I believe February 1st is the cutoff date on that, and I need to get this done about a week ahead of time because I will not be around to finish at the very deadline. So we had to move our deadline up by a week. What we're working on, I don't know if all of you guys remember because I started it such a long time ago, but we're working on this this thing here, you know, with the two people walking around. I think the car died, but yeah, it's actually a pretty decent little kit. It's a 2-in-1. You can do a race car version where you have some fat fender dealies to put on over the wheel arches, and a little wing in the back, and then you also, this is the cop out that they did though. Instead of giving you 2 sets of tires, they do give you 2 sets of wheel rims, but the same tires, and then they just give you a different spacer to put in there to move the wheel out farther from the chassis. So that was kind of a cop out, but it is what it is. Decal pack is actually pretty nice. We did so far just a couple of small decals on the instrument panel, and then there's a couple of marker decals to put around the body and everything, but I'm going to wait until we get final assembly done before we go on to that. Speaking of the body, we did ours in Battlefield Copper by Splash Paints, and then we did the clear coat also, and I had a little bit of trouble here and there with the clear coat, and this is what prompted Mrs. BG to do a little bit more research on 2K Clear and found out that we did need to thin it just a little bit, and we figured out some ratios and such. So this was our test mule on that type of thing, and we now know what we're doing, so we're going to be doing much better from now on, but it's not bad as it stands. I have some Molotow on the taillights there. And then we're going to, once that fully cures up, we'll be putting on the transparent pieces, which we did up with just some Sharpie. A little bit of Sharpie, but on all the way around, on all 4 edges, front, back, tops, and bottoms, even the edge there, because the light comes in through there and it kind of washes out the color that's on there. We did have to glue the interior tub to the chassis because it makes up most of the chassis underside itself. And then once we get everything fully assembled, we'll go back and dirty up this exhaust system here a little bit and make that look cooler. We did some Ushi powder on the gas tank, so that looks a little bit cooler. And then we're going to do some dry brushing up here on the suspension, as the French say. Let's see. So that's pretty much what's going on. I'm looking at possibly doing final assembly tomorrow. The only thing that's tripping me up right now is the gigantic rear hatch and side window skirt pieces. I need to mask all this off and then do some flat blacking in there. And I got to do it on the inside because that's where all the etching is. So I'm not really confident about that kind of stuff. I haven't had much experience doing that kind of thing, so we're going to see how it goes. Oh, also one thing I did like a freaking noob was I mounted my windshield in before I did my windshield trim molding coloring, so that's going to be fun on a bun, but we'll get it. I mean, no worries. So there we go for that. And then secondly, this is a 2-for-1. Let's do GT40 time. Check this boy out. The lights are not doing him justice. He's coming out kind of blurple here on screen. But this is the Tamiya color that we're using on this one. And this is Rattle Can Shine right out of the can. And we've been doing our transparent pieces. This one's kind of cool. We put the front windshield in, and then we marry the body and the chassis together, and then we get to put all the rest of the transparent pieces on from the outside, which I absolutely love. Here's the back side. We did a little bit of detail work on our turn signals and tail lights, which are mandatory for this type of race, for the GT racing stuff. Blacked out the radiator area there. That little bar that goes along there, we're going to highlight that with a little bit of Uji powder. And then we just have a few more little bits to put on. We have these vents that go up on top of the car. We got those blacked out on the inside. And then these are our itty bitty little jacking points that go on the very, very front of the car. They actually make the car look like it's got little fangs kind of hanging out in front there. And then our knockoffs. So yay, knockoffs. And then we have windshield wiper, our side windows, and then a little bit of photo etch. We have a little rear screen there. It goes in the back. So luckily we don't have to fold anything. We have some photo etch seat belts, which I chose to ignore. And then we also have right down here some photo etch hood pins and tie downs. So those will actually go on the car. But as we're standing right now, this dude is doing pretty well. I'm really loving this kit. Since I bought this kit, I picked up 3 more from my stash because I want to do other things with them. And then we just have to do our decaling. I've always had problems with decals, but I've never had problems with decals. So we're going to do decals on this one. All right, guys, that's what we got going on there. Thanks for tuning in. We picked up some more subscribers. We are nearly at the 500 subscriber mark. And you know what happens when we hit 500? We have a giveaway. All right, so we'll have more details on that a little bit later on when we actually hit the 500 mark, which I hope is pretty soon, because I'm very excited about that. And we'll talk to you guys a little bit later on. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye now.